Alrighty, we are live and continuing Slasher September with a very fun one that Ginger Ninja so happily brought up yesterday and during our Friday 6 Jason Live stream watch along. And he brought up Happy Death Day. I said, that's a good idea. Let's do that. So, this is a very fun movie. And I'm going to wait a few minutes before we start it as usual. Who's the director? I forget his name. I had it up. Christopher Landon. He directed Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, and he was one of the screenwriters for Disturbia, which is a pretty good movie. And then he wrote for pretty much all of the Paranormal Activity films, and then he wrote and directed the marked ones, which I can't stand that whole series. If it's your thing, good for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. And then he went on to, what did he do after that? He did this film, the sequel. Oh, and then he wrote Hard Eyes from earlier this year. That was all right. Wasn't anything great. What's up, Ant? Everybody didn't make it to Job Club because of the buses. I'm going to do my memoirs after I go see Long Walk. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, The Long Walk. I want to see that really, really badly. I have The Conjuring, Last Rites, Weapons, and Together, that I have all those three new releases that I keep having to watch. I threw Weapons on the other night, and no fault of the movie at all, but I fell asleep like 20 minutes in. I was just exhausted. So I got to start with Weapons and finish that. And then I want to see Conjuring, Last Rites, and then I'll throw on Together after that. But The Long Walk is on my list too, because that is a favorite Stephen King story of mine. I love that novella. But have you ever seen Happy Death Day? I'm sure. It's a very popular movie. Hey, what's up, Skiz? How you doing? You saw Toxic Avenger? I've been hearing good things. I mean, I've said many times I'm not a big Trauma fan or a fan of Toxic Avenger, but I haven't seen the original in a decade or more. I want to check out the new one. I've been hearing mostly good things. Hey, what's up, Russell? Watching the best Dwayne Johnson film. Does he have a good film? I never liked The Rock as an actor, man. I never liked him I think he's a terrible actor. Maybe he's gotten better over the years, but he should have just stuck with wrestling. That's what he did when I was growing up. He was The Rock. I knew him for Smell What the Rock is Cooking. When he transitioned into acting, it was not good. I do not care for him. But I never saw that one. Faster. You thought Weapons was okay, but overhyped. See, that's what I'm worried about, because the same thing happened because I don't watch trailers. I think I've maybe done 3 trailer reactions on the channel in a little over 3 years that I've been doing it. I don't watch trailers for hardly anything because I like going into a movie as blind as can be. And sometimes you can't ignore the hype, like Hereditary when that came out. But I think that film's a masterpiece and the hype paid off. But like with Talk to Me from 2 years ago, right? And Bring Her Back from this year, I think they're both really, really great films, but they didn't live up to all the hype they were getting. So I'm worried about it being the same, but I have talked to a few friends that I do trust their opinion, like on most things when it comes to movies, that are putting it up there as top horror film of the year or in their top 3. So I'm excited to actually check it out and see. Because I actually had Paul Clemens, who I've had on in the past from The Beast Within, the actor in that, message me and say, did you see Weapons? It was great. Is that like one of the best movies I've seen in years? So I've been hearing it from everybody. So it's like, all right, I got to finally check it out. And I had it on, but I fell asleep like 20 minutes in, but it had nothing to do with the movie. Hey, Jamie. How you doing? Happy anniversary again. I know it was yesterday, right? But I hope you guys had a great time. Thank you, Ann. Wait. Yeah, Hereditary is very divided. That's a very, very divisive movie. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's a masterpiece of a film. Like that, and then we were talking the other night, or maybe it was last night with Jason on his channel for the Friday thing, about The Empty Man from 2020 that hardly anybody's seen, and The Substance. Those are like the three films that I consider masterpieces in the last decade, like less than a decade. But some people hate Hereditary. I know people who can't stand that movie. Pat doesn't like it. I know Pat hates that movie. Yeah, again, I hope you guys had a great time, Jamie. Yeah, you love Hereditary. I know you love it. Did you like Weapons? Yeah, I've been hearing mostly good things, but I have been hearing, like what Skid said, like it not living up to the hype, but still enjoying it. It just not being like wow, like most people are making it out to be, which I could see because that's how, like I said, Talk to Me was for me, and that's how Bring Her Back was for me too. But those are the same directors who made both of those movies. Maybe it's just their style, the directing style at this point that just hasn't wowed me yet. I want to see them actually do something completely different in horror, like outside of the grief stricken and like paranormal subgenre. I want to see them do something completely different, like do a creature feature or a slasher or like something completely out of what they're used to doing with their first two movies. That would be interesting. Uh, yeah, you're close, man, to 1,000. If anyone's not a sub to Anthony's channel, definitely you can drop your link in here, man. But if anyone wants to watch along, I pinned the Look movie link. It's not really streaming anywhere else. I rented it on Prime just so I could watch it on the TV. But this is such a fun movie. I remember when this came out, and Jessica Roth. I never saw her in anything really before this, and I haven't really seen her in much since. Even though I know she's done stuff, just not really things that I've watched. But I thought she did such a fantastic job in this movie. She does such a great job, even with her whole little transformation from being more of a snotty, bitchy girl, and then like her little gradual transformation through all the events of this movie to being a much sweeter, kinder person. And then her same performance in the sequel to this, which actually we're getting a third film, which they've been going back and forth about for years. And I looked it up before I started this. Apparently, they confirmed the last thing that was said about it was Roth and Landon, the director, both said that it's moving forward. So hopefully, we get a third one in the next few years. I still need to check out Hell House Lineage. I didn't hear too much about it. Yeah, they did, which pissed off a lot of people. I felt bad for Stephen Cognetti because I had him on for an interview and I talked all about that movie with him before it came out. Then I was thankful he gave me a screener like a month in advance, and I reviewed that movie, and I enjoyed it. I'm a big Hell House fan, and I really like two, even though a lot of people don't like the second Hell House. I really enjoy two the most, actually, out of all of them. But that's enjoyment and not best. If I were to say the best, it's not like instantly the original. But I would put it two, one, Origins, Lineage, three. Three's the worst in that series by far. But I knew it was going to be a regular film format and not found footage way ahead of time. And everybody did for that, I thought, but apparently people didn't, because that was knowledge that was known for like almost a year before the movie came out, that it wasn't going to be in found footage style. And a lot of people, I guess, just didn't know that. And they got real mad. Not just about that. There's other things wrong with the movie. It's not a perfect film in any way, but it did not deserve the hate it was getting at all. And yeah, it was recently Anthony's birthday. Happy birthday again, buddy. It was Nanette's birthday. She's not in here, but it was her birthday Monday. Shit, it's the 12th already? So it's my birthday in 8 days, in a week. At midnight, it'll be a week. That's insane. Time flies. Literally, time flies, and that's what our movie tonight is kind of about, with time being distorted, which this is basically a horror version, a horror comedy version, I should say, because this is way, way, way heavier on comedy than horror. Time travel movie here. This is just a horror version of Groundhog Day, which is a fantastic movie and a favorite 80s comedy of mine. Was it 80s or was it early 90s? I don't remember when Groundhog Day came out. Whenever it did, it's a favorite comedy of mine. And they kind of pulled it off very, very well in this movie, that whole concept. Because, right, Tree, I haven't seen this in a while. Tree ends up getting killed on her way to a party on her birthday. And then she wakes up with that guy that she ends up falling for in the end in his dorm, and then keeps living that same day over and over again. And then she has to figure out who the killer is and who's trying to kill her before it lets her out of that Groundhog Day hell. We had a great night. We went to I love hibachi. Got ice cream afterwards, and we went home. I still haven't seen Renfield. How was it? I don't even remember what the consensus was back when it came out. I remember hearing some good things. I didn't hear a lot about it, actually. It's probably the thing. I heard like a few reviews here and there, and it was talked about for a few weeks, and then it just was never talked about again. Nicolas Cage, right? Wasn't that? Men Behind the Sun is a fucked up film, but true. That sounds so familiar. I don't know if I saw that, though. Men Behind the Sun. Yeah, I'm way behind on the chat. A third of this movie? If so, then yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they'll do with a 3 for this. I'm interested. I mean, I don't think the second one is anywhere near as good as this first one here, but it's still fun and entertaining. And we'll be watching it next week, next Friday, because they do go well with each other. But where they'll go with a third one, I don't know. That's kind of stretching it. It's kind of how I felt about just recently watching the 2 Becky films, and how Becky and Wrath of Becky are both excellent. I loved both of those movies. And they're saying there could be possibly a third film, but with the way that Wrath of Becky ends, spoilers for anyone who cares, but they offer her to be in the CIA or the FBI or something like that. So you can only do maybe one more movie in that franchise before it would go off the rails and ridiculous. I feel the same way about this. You could probably get away with one more film in this franchise, and then it would go, too stupid. So I don't think they would do more than a third film. And yeah, the comedy does work very well. I mean, it is like 90% comedy, this movie. There's not really any even horror in this, besides that there's a guy with it's a slasher just because there's a guy, or a person, I should say, in the mask with a knife that's killing her. There's no kills. There's no anything like that in this movie. It's more of a science fiction film, if anything. Yeah, I think a third one, a trilogy, would be perfect for this type of story and IP. Renfield was amazing. Love the special effects, except for some of the CGI blood. I hate hearing that. It was very entertaining. Love Nick. Yeah, see, some people didn't like Long Legs, and I can see why on multiple fronts. But it was like my third film of last year. I absolutely loved it. Oz Perkins has a very deliberate, slow-paced directing style that just focuses heavily on atmosphere in most of his movies. Like maybe Gretel and Hansel is the exception. But I could see people not caring for his films in general, but I can also see people not liking Long Legs for a bunch of different reasons, pacing being one of them. Can't wait for Netflix's Ed Gein series. Yeah, that's interesting. I like watching those every now and then. like true crime stuff or like serial killer documentaries and stuff like that. But all right, I'm gonna get this going. If anyone's watching along, hit play on go. If anyone comes in and wants to watch, I'll post the timestamp. But 3, 2, 1, a go. This was what, 2017, and the sequel was 2019, I think, right? Pretty sure it was 2 years after. Yeah, I gotta watch Renfield. It just didn't stick out to me when it came out as like a movie, like, oh, I have to see that. And if a film doesn't grab my interest like that, then I just don't end up seeing it for a while. There's a lot of releases from this year and last year I need to still catch up on that just I didn't get to because one, I talk about a shit ton of movies already here all the time on the channel. And a lot of them are older films and stuff. So I don't get around to watching as many new releases as I wish I did. But when I do, it's always prioritized as whatever ones I care about the most and actually are interested in seeing. Like I didn't hate long legs, but was told so much how it was this. Yeah, like that. No, that I could see being let down by that statement. That's ridiculous. I mean, being the scariest movie they've watched, that's a extremely hyperbolic statement because I would never say that to anybody about hardly any movie. I mean, unless I really feel a film is terrifying, which is far and few between. But yeah, it's not the scariest movie. There's not even a lot of scares in the movie. It plays out more like a police procedural almost, centered around like a supernatural aspect relating to a killer. Kind of like a Seven, and it got compared heavily to these films. Seven and a few other David Fincher films like Zodiac and a few other movies like that. That's the type of film that Longlegs is. But it was definitely marketed in a different way, which I feel kind of hurt it a bit. Hell yeah, movie time. She's waking up and wasn't in the trailer, in the original trailer. I remember seeing it on TV back in the day. And there was a different ringtone instead of the stupid happy birthday that we get in here. There was like a popular rap song. Does anyone remember what it was? For some reason, they took it out. I'm sure it was rights issues that they couldn't get the song for the movie. Maybe they paid for it just for the trailer. But it was like a popular rap or a pop song, something like that. $50. I wanted to say 50 Cent, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to sound stupid. So yeah, it was 50 Cent. Make sure I got everything. Renfield has an Argento feel. That's interesting. That draws me in immediately. I think you might like it. Yeah, you know me. The colors are amazing. Yeah, I got to check that out then. That just sold me even more. Didn't mind Ghost Rider. I haven't seen Ghost Rider. Drive Angry. I saw that one. That was pretty good. Mandy, I really liked for like his in the last recent years of Nicolas Cage. I've never been a huge Nicolas Cage fan. I feel he has two modes. He has phoned in performances that aren't great at all, like the Wicker Man remake, like stuff like that. Then he has full on crazy Nicolas Cage, and he's excellent. And there's no real middle ground for me with Nicolas Cage. So I've never was a huge fan of his, despite him having some excellent performances throughout his career that I really enjoyed. But him and Mandy, he was really good, even though he wasn't in like the majority of that film. But just the parts that he was, like the second half, that's a crazy movie. This movie really interested me when it came out and still does when I rewatch it because I just love stuff to do with time travel and like quantum physics and all that type of stuff. So anything to do with, and they dive into it more in the sequel with the machine that they're working on, and that changes everything. parallel dimensions. So instantly it grabs my attention with all of that being the premise here. And they started off well by just showing the little things that she's going to notice happening every single day, like the person tripping on the lawn, and then her sorority sister asking if she ate or some shit like that. Those few different events that keep happening, even though she wakes up at different points, like each day as they show, like as it goes on, or like a conversation will take longer in the bedroom of the dorm before she leaves. So she should be further along the path that she takes when events are happening, but it doesn't. It still happens at the same time. But they did a good job for the most part of syncing up everything. Oh yeah, and that's right. This bitch is the killer. Spoilers if anyone hasn't seen it. I think most people at this point know my channel is mostly all spoiler talk, unless I specifically put spoiler-free review like as a title for a new movie. That's the only time I really do spoiler-free stuff. Besides that, it's all spoilers and deep diving, talking about everything. I've seen this girl in other things too, but I just can't think of what. Her roommate here with her little cupcake that she gives to her. That's just weird alone that she changed her ringtone to the birthday ringtone. Like, I'd say, what the fuck are you doing going in my phone and changing the settings? But she don't eat it. It's too many carbs for her. See, you're conscious of your health and your weight. It could save your life. Someone could give you a poisoned cupcake. Your life. What do you guys think of the baby mask that the killer uses in this? I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's kind of stupid. I think it's stupid that they have the mascot for the school is a baby. I mean, that's kind of weird in its own right. Like for a football team, imagine you're going up against a school. You're going up against the babies. Like it's dumb. So I don't mind the look of his mask because it is just the mask that their mascot wears. But they could have done something better. I mean, it looks similar to Valentine. Not that similar, but it reminds me of the mask from Valentine, Alice Sweet Alice, because the Valentine mask reminds me of Alice Sweet Alice's mask. But they could have thought of something much better than a big baby with one tooth. I mean, come on. That was the best thing they came up with in the writer's room. Oh, the guy likes her and he spills chocolate milk. That's right. Then she's having an affair with her professor who's married. And she's having this whole affair with him for who knows how long. I don't think they mention how long it's been going on. I mean, she has like murderer written on her forehead, the roommate here. Because I remember when I first saw this, I put it together real fast and thought that she was the killer. And I just didn't know how it would play out. And it ended up being her. Did anybody else guess or think it was her, like from the get go? Because she just looks like a crazy person. And again, she went into her phone and changed her settings and her ringtone. That's weird. Guy looks like Dan Stevens a little tiny bit, not that much. The professor. She's got one hell of a kick. She's making out with him and she kicks the chair and perfectly kicks it so that it goes under the doorknob. It's like she's done this many times. And then the wife shows up. That's not good. I wonder what this guy, the director, is working on now. Because I said he wrote Hard Eyes. He didn't direct it, he wrote it. And I don't know when we're getting a third one of these, even though it is kind of confirmed. Anything coming up? Drop. He has a film that he directed that came out in April, actually, this year. Drop. Mystery thriller film. I haven't seen that. So, yeah, he has done something this year besides writing Hard Eyes. Oh, this is where we see the baby killer. Like, these type of scenes are the only real horror in this movie. Like when she's in the dark and she's walking and the killer's stalking her. There's only a few scenes like this throughout the movie. The other, like 85%, 90% of this film is comedy mixed with mystery. That is creepy though, with the little music box or whatever that the killer leaves under the tunnel. It's playing Happy Birthday. And she walks towards it. I don't know. I would never walk towards that thing. Just turn around, go the other way around the tunnel. Oh, and there's baby. This is her first of many deaths. I feel like that guy, the killer there, does not look at all like the roommate, the body structure or anything. It looks nothing like her. That person looked a little bit stocky, shorter for sure, because the roommate is pretty tall. That person was nowhere near as tall as her. So I don't know who was playing the killer right there in that shot, but it was sure as shit not the roommate. I think they wanted to just make the killer look more intimidating, like the first time you see him or see the killer. And he's stabbed in the face, and she instantly wakes up. Then she has the thing where later on where she gets x-rayed and her body shows like severe trauma and like internal bleeding and injuries and stuff like that she's been sustaining from being killed over and over again, even though she's still living that same day. That's an interesting little thing brought up that I wish they expanded upon, but they don't. They just mention it and then like it just never, you never hear anything else about it. And I really wish you would, because that's a very interesting concept. That even though she's living the same day, she still has all of her injuries in a way. Maybe that's something they can explore in the third movie. I like their whole chemistry. Uh, Tree and what the hell's his name? The guy. Whenever she says it, that's when I'll find out. That's right. Then the Asian guy, who's the main character of the second movie, comes in. Yeah, you hit that yet? And she's right there. Is it Sam? Is that his name? No. But see, like it took like a few more seconds for her to leave, but yet this woman's still coming up with the flyer at the same exact moment. And then she walks past the fountain and sprinklers go off at the same time. There's times in the room when the day resets that she takes another 30 to 60 seconds in the room. And all these things should have happened already, but she goes outside and it still happens. So, like I said, they did the best that they could with making it all seem like the same exact thing is happening. That's right. And the college kid just fucking passes out on the lawn. And she runs into this guy, which again, she would miss him on other days. Well, days, this day repeating. I like the college campus layout, though, the setting of this. I forget if they say what grade she's in or what year she's in college here, because I'm thinking now if we got a third movie, how they would, what direction they would take that in, because obviously this is several years now after the second movie, which was 2019. The second one was a direct continuation from the first movie. Now that it's been 6 years, seven, by the time the movie comes out, 6, 7, 8 years, I wonder if they'll move on and have her out of university. It's several years later. Then something else happens that traps her in another loop or something like that. Because I don't think they'll make it another direct sequel to a second one and have her still in university. I don't think they'll go that direction. They could. This bitch still trying with the cupcake every day. Hey, what up, Johnny? How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Well, for the next 25 minutes until it ends, turns to Saturday. You know how days work. How you doing? We just started this fun one 20 minutes ago or so. This movie actually looks really good. I rented it on Prime, and it's 4K Ultra HD. Actually, it does. I can see the difference. It looks very good. What up, Scott? How you doing, Scott? Happy Friday weekend to you as well. You just say 3 pizzas, shrimp fried rice, and egg rolls. Nice. Sounds delicious. Good to hear, my friend. Still don't have this guy's name. I don't know why I'm thinking Sam. Come on, they got to say it like now, right? Carter. Nowhere, so nowhere near Sam. But Carter is the name in what the hell's the movie? Truth or Dare. Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, just a year after this, whose real name is not Carter, it's actually Sam, which is a revelation they find out later in the movie. So Sam links to Carter in that way. So it was kind of right. I'm telling you, he looks a little bit like Dan Stevens, as actor. Playing Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Oh, nice. I love those older Capcom fighting games. And Capcom was a huge name in video games and shit back in the day. Like one of the bigger names, especially with Sega games. And his wife shows up again. She kind of handles it very calmly. This first day repeat, where she's realizing everything is exactly the same, I'd already be freaking the fuck out because I'd be already saying to myself, this is all the same as yesterday. She's kind of like, let's go to bed tonight and see if tomorrow is a new day. She's very calm about the whole situation on the first day. Then she starts freaking out a little more. Speaking of video games, I haven't played fucking Elden Ring Night Rain since it came out. I played that game for like 2 days, maybe like an hour or two a day, and then another random hour here and there, and then just totally lost interest in it. I don't know why. It's very different than Elden Ring, the base game, and all the Souls games because it's you can play it solo, but still, it's very much more quick paced and like a fucking Fortnite in a way type battle royale type thing. Not really my thing, so I can see. But there are new bosses and shit that are in the game, which I've only fought one of them because I only played it for such a short amount of time. So I definitely want to start playing more of that. And I think they have updated it and added some stuff to it since I last played it. There's Babyface again, but it's not really the killer. Just some guy named Mike that they call over to the group. And the sequel, like I was saying earlier, with this movie, with there not being really much horror to it, sequel has like no horror to it. That's just a straight up sci-fi film. At least this night she doesn't walk right up to the music box. And how does this girl know where Tree's going to be like at every given moment? She's just a regular girl. So this is still only her first repeat. Oh, that's right. She punches the guy in the face, and it's the surprise party for her. The guy opens the door with the mask on, gets socked in the face. That's funny. Man, remember foosball tables? They were playing foosball in this party. Lori, that's the roommate killer's name. And then she ends it. I wonder what happens in every universe where she gets killed and then she wakes up, say, in another universe or dimension. In that dimension that she was murdered, though, I wonder what happens after that. Like how people react to, oh my God, Tree was killed, and then they got to fucking bury her and have a memorial for her. Then life just goes on. Like that's the whole thing that gets you going crazy with your thoughts when it comes to time travel and alternate dimensions and the multiverse. Is that all these events could be happening at the same time and branch off each other and coexist. Oh, that's right. She goes into this room and the killer's in there. I like how the room looks. Person knows how to decorate a room. It's got like three telescopes. That's kind of sus. On a college campus. Damn good coffee. Which, speaking of damn good coffee, tomorrow night we'll be doing Twin Peaks, the next three episodes, whatever they are. Pretty sure it's season 2, episodes 5, 6, and 7, because we did 2 through 4 last time. Yeah, so it would be 5 through 7, which would mean we'd be ending it with the reveal of Laura Palmer's killer. So that's a good way to end that whole arc. So we'll do that tomorrow at 11. Same time, same place. Lower this music just in case this music has some dickhead copyright on this. That's right. He starts dancing like a dumbass, so then he gets murdered. So then, like in this universe, before it resets for her, this guy would be dead too. She's looking on her phone and he's getting killed behind her. Yeah, after what happened, or just the night before, or the same night, which you'll find out again soon, I would not go anywhere near somebody dressed like that baby. And again, the killer here looks nothing like the body type for the roommate at all. Like Lori, that is not Lori on top of her right now. This guy comes in, sees that she's getting attacked, goes, whoa, and then she screams, you asshole, at him. That's hilarious. And now she's dead and back alive again. Now she knows. I mean, now she's freaking the fuck out. Now she knows it's the same day repeating. Which I don't know how you didn't know that already. The first day. Her performance is so good here when she's. This is a nightmare. See, like here, she rushes out of the room now. So she should be way past the girl who comes up with the newspaper, the person collapsing on the lawn, and all of that. But yet she's still in sync with everything. See, this would be me on the first day, the first repeat, not kind of, this is weird, this is familiar, this is just like yesterday. No, I said, this is exactly like yesterday. She bum rushes right past her gay friend here who keeps pretending he's into her. What do you say? I'm surprised nobody. I mean, I'm sure there's probably something out there before this movie, but I'm surprised that there hasn't been more movies like this that revolve around like the Groundhog Day premise in the horror genre or even thriller genre or anything like that. This is really the only big, like, known movie I can think of that takes the whole idea of Groundhog Day and just applies it to, a murder mystery and has this person living the same day over and over again. Can't think of many other movies that have done that, which is surprising with how successful and how big Groundhog Day was. She's trying to kill her. And like, wouldn't she take Lori, the killer? Wouldn't she take like extra precaution with the fact that even though she sounds like a lunatic and Lori doesn't know the days are repeating over and over again, just the fact that she's saying someone's trying to kill her and that it's happened already and she's repeating the same day, wouldn't that make Lori kind of like, shit, just in case, like, one, I should be more careful going after her? Doesn't seem to weigh in at all in her decisions. Fucking back's been hurt today. The power goes out, which should never happen at a college unless there's a storm or some shit. And then that's right, there's this whole subplot with Toom. Is his name Mr. Toomey? I think it is because it always reminds me of Psycho 2 with Mr. Toomey from that. And it might not. It might be like Tombs or something like that. Something close to that. We'll find out who's some serial killer or something like that that they have like being held like at the hospital on the campus. And then she blames him and tries to pin the murder of Tree on him It's a whole convoluted side plot. I don't know how I feel about it still to this day. I think it's Toombs. I think that might be the last name, not Toomey. But Laurie's like able to frame him for trying to kill Tree. Which I don't know. I feel like there's so many holes just in that whole subplot. Yeah, Tombs. There's the announcement on the TV. Some guy was shot dead and another person was hurt by this guy Tombs. I mean, I get it's supposed to be the main red herring for the murderer in this movie. I just don't think it's well thought out. It's probably the weakest thing about this story is the whole Tomb stuff. It's not like terrible or anything. It's not bad. Just could have done something more interesting. Russ, have you seen both of these movies? This one and the sequel? The sequel is we'll be watching next Friday. That one's a lot of fun. I barely remember that one. I thought I just recently saw these two movies, like rewatched them back to back, maybe several months back. And then I remembered it wasn't these two movies. It was the two babysitter movies, The Babysitter and The Babysitter Killer Queen. It was those two films that I watched. Those are fun movies. I actually really enjoy those two on those rewatches. You haven't seen them? Yeah, check them out. They're fun. Especially the first one here, the first Happy Death Day. Oops, she's getting attacked by the killer again. What'll happen this time? She's dead. And now she's back alive. She starts throwing the phone because it's ringing the To Your Birthday song. That's fucking funny. And again, she raced out of there, but yet she still sees the same events happening at the same time. I guess it is more of a big thing for me personally, just because those little things bother me. But it's still not like a huge deal. Now she's having a full on meltdown. She goes out in the middle of the quad and she's holding her head, freaking out. I like the camera work, the classic spin around the person so that it looks like everything's going nuts around them. And this is when she finally talks to Carter and tells him what's going on. And she's never seen the movie Groundhog Day. She jokes at the end. She doesn't joke. She honestly never saw it. But how have you not seen that movie? Come on, Tree. So he's telling her birthdays are symbolic, and you should have fucking told me earlier it's your birthday. I like his character a lot, Carter or Sam. Oh, what made me think of Sam, except for that thing with Truth or Dare. He says busy night when she said that she kissed some guy or something at the party the night before. He says, I was afraid you were going to choke on your own vomit like Janis Joplin. One second, I will be right back. All right. Now we get a montage. Her trying to figure out who her killer is. Oh, that's right. This is when she sees the guy, her friend who likes her, watching gay porn. She's like, "Aw," and like cheers him on. That's funny. I barely even call this movie a slasher film, though. Russell, JT, have you seen What Are We Are What We Are? No, I haven't. Sounds familiar though. I've heard the title. When did that come out? It's actually a fun montage here because you see her getting killed in multiple ways. Although it's like there's no good kills or anything, so it's barely a slasher movie. That's funny. I like when when they're wrestling her and the other girl in her sorority, and they wrestle into the street, and the bus comes and hits the both of them. That's fucking funny. 2013, Russ. I gotta look into it. Yeah, it sounds familiar. The title. I know I haven't seen it though. Now she's just walking naked across her college, completely nude. Says fuck it. Because I guess yeah, at a certain point, you're gonna just say to yourself, "All right, I guess I'm just trapped in the same day every day." And then you're gonna stop trying to get out of it, and you're just gonna start having fun in any way that you can. Start fucking with people. Start trying to see, like, break weird records, jumping from the tallest building. You know you're gonna wake up anyway, unless you get real unlucky and the cycle was about to end at the end of one particular night and you ended up killing yourself in some weird way. And if you didn't, you would have woken up and it would have been the next day and you would have been through it all. That's a terrible way to go. But you'd have no way of knowing that. See, this is when she starts feeling pain from her prior injuries, which the only thing they ever say about this again is with the scene with the doctor, and then they never bring it up again, really. And I think it's an interesting idea to be feeling all the same, feeling all the injuries that she sustained, being killed over and over again. Because, yeah, she collapses here. Then the doctor says to her that you have internal injuries and bruising, and you should be dead. And then it just never comes up. Ontario, Canada's film, cannibal film, Scars, was good. Oh, when did that come out? They have a new cannibal film? Or was that an older movie? I watched a few cannibal films in a row a few weeks ago when I was upstate for the week with my daughter. For some reason, a few nights in a row, I was just into like the Italian cannibal films. So I rewatched Cannibal Holocaust, which is a favorite of mine. And then I watched Slave to the Cannibal God by Martino, which I haven't seen in forever. And I figured it was an older movie, yeah. Then I watched Umberto Lenzi's Cannibal Ferox, and there was one other one, another cannibal one. I forget which movie it was, but it was just like a 2-night streak up there that I watched a few cannibal movies in a row. Which really the only like 3 that I think are worth watching. There's others, but like the 3 main ones are the ones that I mentioned, basically: Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, and Mountain of the Cannibal God, or Slave to the Cannibal God. It's the same movie, Martino. Like Zombie Holocaust isn't really, that's like a mix between like the cannibal and zombie subgenre, but you could throw that one in too. That one's a fun one. There's a few others, but I'd say those are like the big 3. Yeah, he says to her, the doctor or professor, that she's saying, technically you should be dead. But she is far from dead. I've been trying to think what the next slasher or what the next deep dive will be. Besides Poltergeist 3, the next slasher. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of ones that I haven't done that I enjoy. And then for some reason, Scream 3 and 4 popped into my head that I haven't done videos for those 2. And but it would just be me shitting on those movies, most of the time. So I want to like pick a movie that I actually enjoy, a slasher I enjoy. Because I've covered over 100 slashers on the channel, which is a lot. And I started off and picked a lot of my favorites and ones that I love. So now I'm trying to wade through the shit ones and find some more like lesser known obscure ones that I haven't talked about yet. And since I'm having a hard time picking the first slasher one, it looks like Poltergeist 3 that'll just be the next video. I'll probably have that out tomorrow night. Or like Sunday afternoon, because tomorrow night we have Twin Peaks. That's right. She finds the baby mask in the professor's hidden drawer. Do you ever get to see Livid 2011? No, I never saw that. I got to check that out. Livid 20. Foreign film, huh? French movie? Oh, like a French vampire movie? That sounds interesting. Oh, okay. It's the people who did Inside. Ah, okay, yeah. You just said it. Same director as Inside. It was their movie after Inside. Nice. Yeah, I got to check that one out. There's a few movies that they've done that I want to see because I know they did. What's the one they did that sucked? Because I said in my video for either Inside or for Leatherface, the prequel Leatherface movie, because they directed that movie, and that movie's terrible. So I said in one of those videos that they're very hit or miss for me, but I've only seen those two movies that I remember. So I want to see that one for sure and see a few other films that they did because they have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 films that they directed. So I definitely want to check out more of their stuff because I love Inside. I think Inside and Martyrs are the best of the famous 4 extreme French films, which the others would be, High Tension or Switchblade Romance and Frontiers. Beatrice, okay, she's in it. Okay, good to hear 2 people having good opinions about that one. The Underwater House movie wasn't very good. Yeah, the Deep House, is that it? They have their filmography still up. The Deep House. Then they did after Livid. They did because Inside was their first film. Then they did Livid. Then they did Among the Living in 2014. Then the Inside remake they had nothing to do with. I don't know if they had anything to do with, but they're just credited with original writers. Leatherface they directed. Then they did Candicia in 2020. The Deep House was 2021. Then The Soul Eater from last year. Love for Oh yeah, I love both of those movies, but I think Martyrs and Inside are the better films for sure. And High Tension, I say all the time, it's a great movie. I just can't stand the twist. It's so stupid. It makes no sense on repeat viewings, and it really takes the film down from it. It's not a everybody issue. Like me and some other people I know have the same problem with it with the twist that it takes away from it. Some movies, the twist, knowing the twist doesn't take away from anything. But like another movie, I just talked about this the other night. I think April Fool's Day. That's another movie. I love that movie, but I can't really watch it and enjoy it fully on rewatches because I know the twist. And when you know the twist of that movie, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't, for some reason, seen 1986's April Fool's Day. You can't unsee it. You can't unknow it. And then it kind of loses a lot of the impact of everything going on in the movie because you know what unfolds at the end. Same with High Tension, but they didn't plan for that twist at all. They just added that twist at the end of that movie and said that's a great twist. All right, and then but when you go back though and look through it, she's in 2 places at the same time. The truck's being driven, but yet she's on camera at the gas station. And so many things where it makes no sense at all, and they just tack that twist on at the end. But it is a great twist. The first time you watch that movie, it does blow you away. Like, oh shit! Like for sure. But then once you go back and rewatch it and you start, if you start, I should say, if you're the type of person like me that goes back and starts looking at things like that, it really starts bothering you, seeing so many inconsistencies. And I always say The Sixth Sense. It's like you look at that movie and go back knowing the twist. It makes sense. Like all the scenes with Bruce Willis being dead. I mean, sure, you could say why isn't anybody talking to this guy, like talking to him at all? But like, it makes sense for the most part. There's nothing that breaks the rules of the twist. Whereas High Tension, the rules have been broken all over the fucking place. But great movie, and that's my favorite Muse song is "Newborn," which is used to great effect in High Tension. Yeah, Soul Eater. That's the one from last year. Okay, that's supposed to be good too. Yeah, yeah. I actually the first time I saw High Tension was a year or two after it came out. It was like in between my first and second year in college, and I was at my girlfriend at the time's house, and she had the movie on DVD, and she said, "I have this crazy horror movie and stuff," and I said, "Yeah, I love horror. Let's watch it." And she threw the movie on, and I fucking loved it. And I thought it was a great movie, and that's actually what got me into Muse. I didn't know Muse before hearing Newborn in that movie, and that's why Newborn probably is still my favorite Muse song because I had that attachment to it, and it was the first song of theirs I heard. But I watched it, yeah, probably like a year or two after it came out. Martyrs and second, yeah, the second sight boxer inside. Nice. You still haven't seen Irreversible? Yeah, you got to check that one out. Actually, surprisingly, I did a video on Irreversible a while back, and for some reason, that was one of the videos that took off. That shit said like 3,500 views or something. Same, and hopefully, because I did another Gaspar Noé film, the director of Irreversible, his film Enter the Void, and I put a lot of fucking effort and time into that video, and I've replicated the DMT trip, and then there's fucking side trance music in there at some point. I went all out for that video, and I think it's like over 100 views or something like that, 100 something. But the watch time is great on it, and I see it climbing a little bit. So hopefully that goes the same direction as Irreversible, because I love Gaspar Noé and all his films that I've seen. Climax is another one that I want to do a video on at some point. Climax was like his film that reached a new audience for Noé. Because I remember that movie got a lot of praise and a lot of attention when it came out, which all of his films, even with Irreversible being so controversial, and that movie really didn't get a lot of it, like marketing or advertising or anything. Same with Enter the Void. Same with his film after that, Love. Same with his film after that, I think. And then Climax finally got like, I think Bloody Disgusting was involved, something like that. Yeah, that's a good movie. Sisters by De Palma. I haven't seen that in a while, but I just saw that while browsing. I think they have it on HBO Max or maybe it was Prime. One of the streaming services has Sisters. Seed 1 and 2. I have never heard of them. They're slashers. Maybe I'll do reviews for them for Slasher September. Like I said, I need some slashers. Last year, even, I was having to dig deeper for some slasher movies, especially like 80s slashers. And I think, was it you, Russell, or it was you or Hector? One of you guys mentioned The Forest. I think it was Hector from 1982. And then I watched that and I did a review on that. It wasn't great, but it was at least like something that I haven't seen from the 80s. And it was a more obscure slasher movie. Just watched Let's Scare Jessica to Death, another good flick. Atmosphere. I heard good things about that. I haven't seen it. I've heard good things. I love the title. It's a great title. I think I'll finally finish or watch. I fell asleep so early in Weapons tonight, like right after I end this. And then Conjuring the Last Rites. And Together, I have to watch at some point this weekend. She gives no shits. Tree just farts. Says you won't remember it anyway. This has become a famous ringtone though in a horror movie. It's your birthday. Oh, you'll know my thoughts. I'll have a review out on it after I watch it because I started it the other night and I fell asleep 20 minutes in. But like I said, it was nothing to do with the movie at all. I was just exhausted. It was like the 2 days after that flight from hell back from Mexico and shit. And I was still like jet lagged. It's still on like West Coast time, and I was just exhausted. At 20, not even 20 minutes in, I passed out, and that was a few nights ago. So it's like, all right, I got to get back to and finally throw it on. I enjoyed everything I saw in the first 15 minutes or so. Irreversible with Monica Bellucci, Russ from 2003, 2004. 2002, I think. That's going to drive me nuts. I should know. 2002, yeah. With the famous Bellucci 9-minute rape scene in the tunnel, which is nuts. That whole scene's crazy. But honestly, I feel like that movie kind of tainted Gaspar Noé as like a very controversial. He is a very controversial director. Don't get me wrong, but like not all of his movies are that shocking. Like with stuff like that in it. Like Enter the Void does have some shocking and disturbing stuff in it, but like nothing like a brutal rape scene like that, like in Irreversible. And same with a lot of his other movies. I feel like that movie, because of that controversy around it, excuse me, got him that reputation for just like, oh, his movies are just going to be despicable, like events and stuff happening in them. It's like, no, man, this guy's an absolute artist. Okay, this is, and the bar is called Corky's. That's funny. Reminds me of Porky's. Great movie. Yeah, so now Toombs is at he's a serial killer and he has victims that he killed all over, and now he's at the hospital where on campus. I don't know. It's such a weird subplot. I mean, it's part of the main plot, but everything to do with Toombs, as I said, is not good in this. It's not bad, but it's not good. Especially since he doesn't do anything. He just used, as the fall guy for Lori, for the roommate. Let the corpses tan, or I mean, art house, not horror, but they look great. No, I haven't. This interesting though, because I do like art house stuff. Let me put that on my list. Is that two things or is that one? Let the corpses tan, one, and the mirror's the other one? Yeah, you said they look great, so I'm guessing right. Because like that's like the best way I describe like Gaspar Noé's films and like Harmony Korine too, as kind of like much more Gaspar Noé than Harmony Korine, but like much more. They're like art house films. That's the best way to describe them. They're just more artsy movies, and I've always been into a lot of those stuff, a lot of those movies. Some things are a little too RC out there for me, but I do enjoy a lot of that. Usually a lot more than the average person does for art house films. Like Skinamarink, that's a perfect example of an art house film that I couldn't stand. That does not work for me at all. That's a perfect example. Versus Enter the Void by Noé, which is a masterpiece for me. See, then Toombs is like chasing her around and stuff, but like he's not her killer. Is he in? Oh, that's right. That's right. She has him on the ground, and he already killed Carter. She's afraid if she kills Toombs, then the day might go to the next day, and it might kill the cycle. So she can't kill him. Terrible. Yeah, the two movies figured. I wrote them down. Well, typed them out. They are visually colorful, striking. Yeah, RC. See you guys. All right, Johnny. Take care, man. Have a good rest of your night. I like the lighting here on the stairs. That looks cool. And that's right, the clock tower that she hangs herself from. But again, I don't know why like he's chasing after her when he's not the killer. I mean, we know he's a serial killer and he's deranged, so I mean that just answers it, I guess. She wakes up, she hangs herself, wakes up, and runs at Carter and hugs him because he's alive again. Aw, that's cute. Did you get that fine vagina or what? Again. And then she spanks him, the Asian guy. That's funny. Now she's all happy. She's running around. She's signing the petition. That the girl comes up to her. She got sunglasses on. She's walking all happy and proud. She got the pillow she took from the room so she could throw it down for the guy who falls. That's funny. But little does she know, she doesn't have it all figured out yet. She's celebrating way too early. She shouldn't be celebrating at all. She's still stuck in a time fucking loop vortex. Yeah, that's right. This is what she tells the friends. Stop trying to be someone you're not. I know you don't like girls. Go your go get yourself a fine piece of man ass. See, like now she's trying to do good. Classic Groundhog Day. I think this is the day or night, right, that she eats the cupcake. Then she doesn't die. I mean, and she still dies and wakes up. She doesn't get killed like by the killer. And that's how she finds out the next day when she comes to that she died because of the cupcake. Yeah, because she's apologizing to her. So she's going to eat her cupcake. Or is she dating Toombs? Like, or is in love with him, Lori? Something like that. Something stupid. Like her motivation with Toombs. That's why she ends the affair with the professor, too. She really carries this whole film. I mean, I really want to see her in more horror movies because she's a just an instant, A plus if you cast her in something. You get her in a good horror movie with a good script, instantly she's going to bring it. She does an amazing job playing this character across both movies. Because yeah, there's other cast members, and you get a bit of Sam too, but she's 90% of this movie. It's all her and her reactions and things that she comes out with. She carries the entire film. Like even here, like when they're all the sorority girls all around her, she's stuffing her face. They're all there, but they're all reacting to her. She's the center of attention. She pours the chocolate milk on the bitchy girl's head. Oh, she kisses Card, or imagine being him. You just like woke up after not doing anything with her, and then she runs out of your room. You see her later, and she just passionately grabs and kisses you. You're thinking, like, what the fuck's up with this girl? Assuming there is one. Oh, that's right. Then she goes and meets up with her dad for like her birthday. It's the sequel when she goes and she gets to see her mom again, that her mom's still alive. That's a really touching scene when she's there talking with her mom. some reason, I thought that scene was coming in this movie. And then I said, no, no, it's a sequel. This is the thing with the dad. She can play anything too, Jessica Roth. She can play. She's great being comedic. She can play dramatic. I don't think there's anything she can't do. Hey, what's up, Rocky? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Well, if you are on the East Coast or wherever it's past midnight. Happy weekend. That's more covers all bases. We are like 20 minutes left or so, something like that. Into with Happy Death Day. She's talking to her dad right now in a very emotional scene. It's sad. Not as sad as the scene in the sequel with her and her mom, though. Damn fine coffee. You've seen this movie, Rocky, I'm assuming, right? And the sequel? Supposedly, we're getting a third one. Yeah, it's a blast. Both of them, this one and the sequel, are a lot of fun. This one is much, much better, though. I was just talking about how great Jessica Roth is in this movie. She carries the whole film. She's like 90% of this movie. And I wish we'd see her in more things. This guy has no idea what the fuck's going on. He's pointing a gun at him. She still thinks it's this Toombs guy. And that's the only negative I have really with this movie. I don't like all the stuff to do with this Toombs serial killer guy that Laurie is trying to frame for killing her if she succeeded in killing her. So I thought it was the last night. So this is the night, I think, that she doesn't die. She doesn't get killed. And she eats the cake, the cupcake, and then she dies. And then she realizes it the next day. I've really been trying to rack my brain too while watching this since I mentioned movies like this, and then I'm surprised there haven't been more horror movies that take the Groundhog Day premise of repeating the same day over and over again. I can't think of any other movies really that do that besides this. And it's really blowing my mind that I can't think of other examples. You would think that's something we'd see many times at this point. I know It's a Wonderful Knife, that movie that came out, I think in 2023, the holiday season. That movie sucked, but it kind of had something like that, like some type of alternate dimension, but it was like where she never existed. So it wasn't the same thing. But you'd think that at this point, 2025, we'd have more movies where the character is stuck in a Groundhog's Day situation. All right, she kills Tombs. Woo! Go Tree! Murders that bastard. That's right, yeah. So now she eats the cupcake. Never eat a cupcake from anybody. That's been a rule of mine for years. Someone comes up to me, offers a single cupcake, I punch them instantly. Stay away from me with your delicious singular treat. I will not eat it. I will punch you. If you got a box of cupcakes, that's different. I will take one. More often than not, multiple ones. And she don't even eat the cupcake from Lori. She's like chilling with Carter, having this cupcake. And yeah, like I said earlier, they never bring anything up again to do with her with the having injuries and having all the internal injuries and bruisings and stuff from dying mad times over and over and over again. It's such an interesting idea. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know why they didn't continue exploring that because they never bring it up again. At least in this movie, I don't remember in the sequel if it comes up. Maybe she brings it up to the Asian kid who goes through everything in the second movie. I forget. But they never bring it up again in this. So now, yeah, she woke up. She thought she was going to be free. She's back dead again, wakes up. Now she knows it must be the cupcake. Trying to think what else this girl's been in. Lori the killer. Because she looks like so familiar. Not just from this movie. I feel like she's been in other things. You never forget the single cupcake. Jessica Roth is excellent in this film. Yeah, she really is. She's so good. I know she's been in other things, just not really much horror, which I barely consider this a horror movie. It's much more comedic, as I've been saying. But she's been in other things after this movie, especially, like did really well. Just not things that I've seen or like the type of movies I watch. I really want to see her in other horror films because she absolutely kills it in this film and the sequel. What I don't get is the whole idea, her whole plan that she's going through now because she realizes it was the cupcake that killed her, and she's talking to Lori, and she's like, "Oh, it's you," and you had the perfect scapegoat for it being Tombs, and it was always you though, blah blah blah. Blah. But if the whole plan was she was going to give her a poisonous cupcake and she was going to die from eating a cupcake, why the hell did she have the whole plan with Tombs or anything like that? I don't know. As a backup, like if she didn't eat the cupcake, I guess that was her whole elaborate backup plan because her whole primary plan seemed pretty damn good. Just poison a cupcake, give it to her, she's done. But yet she has the whole elaborate thing. I hate the whole Tomb stuff in this movie. And she does the whole classic here. You eat the cupcake then. No, I'm not eating it. And then they viciously beat each other until she kicks her ass out the window in a sec. That's hilarious. That's funny. That's right. That was the motive because the professor she was fucking, the married professor, she was jealous. This ugly bitch, jealous of Tree for sleeping with Gregory, the professor. Before how'd you figure it out? Because you killed me before. She has terrible aim. She threw that lamp and it went nowhere near Lori. It's a fun little fight sequence. Yeah, they have one girl knocking at the door. You'd think you'd have the whole sorority up there with all the noise they're making. Shoves the cupcake in her mouth and then kicks her ass through the window. Like superhero, grabs the light fixture and just swings and kicks her. She goes flying out this window. That's too funny. And she bursts into blood right in front of the Asian girl with the headphones that you see throughout this whole movie whenever she walks into the sorority. Oh, that's so funny. And then they explain this away. How? I kicked my roommate out of the window. Why? All right, in self-defense, she was trying to kill me. How do you know she was trying to kill you? The tried to poison me with a cupcake. How do you know it was poisoned? Even they tested and they see it was poisoned. How do you know it was poisoned? I feel like there's a lot more questioning that would go on in this whole situation. This other sorority chick on the news, I knew there was something wrong with Lori. She never took cute selfies, and she owned a pair of Crocs. That's so fucking stupid. And then finally, things are fine in Tinseltown, I guess, until a few, what is it, days after this is when the sequel takes place. I know it's like a direct sequel. It starts right where this movie leaves off, pretty much. Like a few days later or something. We'll find out again next Friday when we watch it. I like the pseudo documentary film Goodbye Uncle Tom about American slavery. Hey, I haven't seen that. You got to check that out. I like watching documentaries though. I watch documentaries often. Usually, if I'm watching TV or a movie and it's not horror, it's either documentary, stand up comedy, or a comedy series or a drama series. But I do watch a decent amount of documentaries. A lot of them being on a lot of weird stuff like aliens and space and physics and fucking time travel and the cosmos and all that type of stuff. She's freaking out that it's the same day again after she wakes up because the phone is still ringing. It's your birthday. And he called her phone. He fucks with her. That's so fucked up. Are you kidding me? It's a cute moment, but still, I would never mess with somebody like that. Make them think they're still stuck in an endless hell of living the same day over and over again. And they wake up and they're finally free, and you pretend and you say the same shit like it's the same day. That's fucked up. That's not right, man. It is cute though. And I do like that he has a They Live poster, Carpenter's film, next to the bed. That's a film I gotta talk about sometime. I gotta do a video on They Live. A lot of Carpenter movies. I still have a lot of Carpenter films to do. Actually, I think the only Carpenter films I've done is Halloween. Halloween 2 wasn't directed by him. Halloween and The Thing, I think, are the only Carpenter films. I think I did a short on In the Mouth of Madness. And yeah, that's it. I'm looking now. Wow, that's wild. I can't believe those are the only Carpenter movies I've covered. So I got to do Escape from New York, In the Mouth of Madness, Prince of Darkness. Those are probably some that would be coming up soon-ish. Same with They Live. Documentary film. Yeah, They Live. Yeah, They Live is great. I haven't seen that one in a while. That's a Carpenter movie I don't watch as often as other movies from him, but it's such a fun movie, and it's a great social commentary. And I love that movie more every time I watch it. In the Mouth of Madness is my third favorite Carpenter film, and I think it's one of his most underrated movies. In the Mouth of Madness is a great film. It's such a great Lovecraft tale, too. And it does not get enough love. But yeah, guys, that's Happy Death Day. And then next Friday, we will do Happy Death Day to You. And tomorrow, we will do Twin Peaks, where we are up to season 2, episodes 5, 6, and 7, which again leaves us at the end of the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer, which is revealed in episode 7. So, yeah, In the Mouth of Madness is so underrated. It's such a classic movie. I finally saw J.C. Talley film Elvis Presley with Kurt Russell. Did a great Elvis. I can imagine Kurt Russell doing a great job. I mean, I love Bruce Campbell's job playing him in, in Bubba Hotep. He's a great Elvis. But I could see Russell doing a great job too, for sure. But all right, guys. I hope everyone has a great night. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, Poltergeist 3 will be the next video when I get time to edit that. And give me some slasher suggestions, because I don't know where to start off review-wise this month with slashers. So let me know. But have a great night, and see you.